And let's first get you all the updates you need to know on the farmers' agitation. They're continuing their protest at Delhi borders over the centre's recently passed farm laws. Now, a crucial meeting took place on Sunday at BJP Chief JP Nadda's residence, aimed essentially to resolve the farmers' stir. This meeting was presided by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar were also present. Shah appealed to farmers to move to the Burari ground, the assigned site for the protest. Defiant farmers, however, remain relentless of not entering Delhi and are currently halted at Delhi's borders. Farmer unions have claimed that Burari ground is an open jail and continue the demand of staging a protest at Delhi's Jantar Mantar. Farmer unions have also decided to gear out Delhi by blocking 5 main entry points to the national capital. A war of words also erupted between the Haryana Chief Minister and his Punjab counterpart, Captain Amrinder Singh. Khattar claimed that the Punjab government is responsible for the protest. Hitting back, Punjab Chief Minister said that the Haryana CM has disowned his own farmers. Rajasthan Chief Minister, meanwhile, has written to the centre to hear out farmers and also ensure a rethink on farm laws. Farmers right now are staying put at Delhi's Tikri border, at the Singhu border and Ghazipur border, causing hardship for commuters.
भारत सरकार आपके साथ आपकी समस्या और मांगों के लिए बातचीत करने के लिए तैयार है।
कब तक दुखी किसान रहेगा?
Home Minister Amit Shah urged farmers to join talks, but has also put a precondition for protesters to clear highway first.
मेरा आप सभी को ये आश्वासन है कि जैसे ही आप लोग इसमें शिफ्ट हो जाते हैं, एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड जगह पे अपने आंदोलन को शिफ्ट करते हैं, दूसरे ही दिन भारत सरकार आपके साथ आपकी समस्या और मांगों के लिए बातचीत करने के लिए तैयार है।
Farmer unions held a meeting to discuss Amit Shah's appeal for discussion, but rejected the precondition to shift their protest site to government-designated spot in Delhi's Burari area.
बटारी पार्क में नहीं जाएंगे, कभी नहीं जाएंगे, क्योंकि जो ਅਸੀਂ पड़ताल किया है बटारी पार्क का, हमें पता लगा है कि वो पार्क नहीं है, वो ओपन जेल है।
Earlier on Sunday, major drama unfolded at Delhi Ghaziabad and Singhu border.
You can see again there is tension between the forces and the farmers who are protesting. They are trying to go inside the national capital, that is in Delhi, but the police is not allowing. First layer of barricade has been broken by the protesters.
Unprecedented pictures these, right at the national highway that connects Punjab, Haryana to Delhi, and you can see that this is not a protest ground, this is not Jantar Mantar. As far as you can look, there are trucks, tractors, crowds, people and a lot of sloganeering.
Amid the 4-day face-off in capital, Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted the advantages of the centre's new farm laws in his Mann Ki Baat address.
काफी विचार विमर्श के बाद भारत की संसद ने कृषि सुधारों को कानूनी स्वरूप दिया। इन सुधारों से न सिर्फ किसानों के अनेक बंधन समाप्त हुए हैं, बल्कि उन्हें नए अधिकार भी मिले हैं, नए अवसर भी मिले हैं।
During his visit to Hyderabad, Amit Shah reiterated and echoed support for farmers. Agriculture Minister Narendra Tomar called for right environment for talks and assured that MSP will continue.
मैं इतना स्पष्ट कहना चाहता हूं कि तीनों बिल जो है किसान रिफॉर्म्स है वो किसानों के भले के लिए है और बहुत समय के बाद किसान एक जकड़ी हुई व्यवस्था से बाहर आने वाला है।
कृषि सुधार कानूनों का एमएसपी से कोई लेना देना नहीं। एमएसपी पहले भी चालू थी, अभी भी एमएसपी पर खरीद हुई है और आने वाले कल में भी वो खरीद होती रहेगी।
But the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party slammed the centre for not engaging farmers for dialogue.
अमित शाह जी, सत्ता का अहंकार क्या आपके सर चढ़कर बोल रहा है? अगर आप 1200 किलोमीटर हैदराबाद जनसभा को संबोधित करने के लिए जा सकते हैं, तो 15 किलोमीटर दूर शंभू बॉर्डर पर किसानों से बातचीत के लिए क्यों नहीं?
Farmers protesting against the farm laws are staying out at the Tikri border amid police deployment. Security has been beefed up at the Singhu border, and the situation remains tense at the Delhi-Ghaziabad border too. With Mosme Singh, Munish Pandey, Arvind Oja and Himanshu Mishra in Delhi. Bureau Report, India Today.
A big development that's expected today. Prime Minister Modi will be meeting executives of 3 firms which are developing different coronavirus vaccines today. In a video conference meet at 9 a.m., Prime Minister Modi will interact with the executives of Genova Biopharma, Biological E as well as Dr. Reddy's. This meeting will take place 2 days after the Prime Minister visited vaccine manufacturing and distribution centres of Serum Institute of India, of Bharat Biotech and Zydus Biotech to review the status of vaccine manufacturing. This was on Saturday. In other vaccine-related developments, an interesting story coming in where a Chennai-based man has filed a lawsuit against Serum Institute of India, which remember is working on Covishield. This after his health worsened after participating in the vaccine trials. The 40-year-old stated that he suffered a virtual neurological breakdown as well as impairment of cognitive functions after taking a shot of the trial vaccine. Serum Institute has rubbished all of these charges, stated that the volunteer's health has nothing to do with the trials. Serum Institute also stated that it will be filing a countersuit, a defamation suit. Daily COVID-19 cases seem to be gradually coming down in the national capital. News that brings a lot of hope for Delhiites. The capital has recorded less than 5,000 new COVID cases for the second straight day. 4,906 new cases and 68 fresh deaths have been reported on Sunday. Daily COVID deaths have also been below 100 for the 5th straight day. With new cases showing a slight decline, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal took to Twitter to hail the efforts of healthcare workers who are working round the clock. He also urged people to continue observing all precautions, to wear masks and ensure they maintain social distancing. On the occasion of Dev Deepavali, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit his parliamentary constituency of Varanasi today. During his 7-hour visit to the city, the Prime Minister will participate in a host of events. This includes the inauguration of a 6-lane road extension of National Highway 19. Prime Minister Modi will also inspect the Ganga Ghat with the boat travel between the river banks. Amid his plans, the Dev Deepavali celebrations will see the Prime Minister visit the city's Rajghat, where 11 lakh diyas will be lit for the occasion. Also on his itinerary are visits to Kashi Vishwanath Temple Corridor project, which is undergoing massive expansion and beautification. The Prime Minister later will visit the Sarnath archaeological site to witness a light and sound show. A big newsy day today, because today is also the day that superstar Rajinikanth will perhaps end all speculation over whether he's entering politics or not. Talaivar will be holding a party meet. This is with Rajini Makkal Mandram at 10 a.m. at the Raghavendra Kalyana Mandapam, which is owned by him in Chennai's Kodambakam. The actor will meet the Rajini Makkal Mandram's district secretaries. He'll be hosting a meeting with 50 members following all COVID norms. Remember, earlier Rajinikanth had issued a statement about his doctor's advice and health concerns delaying his political plunge, and that a decision regarding launching a political party will be taken after consulting all of the members of his fan association at an appropriate time. His statement came after an alleged leaked letter started doing the rounds with regards to Rajini's political entry. Remember that Rajinikanth's role plays a huge part for the BJP ahead of the Tamil Nadu Assembly polls. Home Minister Amit Shah, when he went to Chennai, met with RSS ideologue Gurumurthy, who is a close aide of Rajinikanth, to discuss really the Rajinikanth factor. Hyderabad is witnessing a high-voltage political campaign for the December 1st local body polls. 24 hours to go for voting. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, on the last day of campaigning, visited Hyderabad, directly challenging the TRS and AIMIM on their home turf. Here are the highlights of Amit Shah's campaign.
Battle Royale in the city of Nizams. Home Minister Amit Shah storming the turf of Owaisi with his mega roadshow in Sikandrabad. On the last day of campaign for civic polls, amid unprecedented high-voltage attention, Shah launched a scathing attack on the opposition.
इतनी हिम्मत क्यों नहीं है कि मजलिस के साथ खुलेआम सीट शेयरिंग कर लड़े? एक कमरे के अंदर इलू कर आप सीटें बांटते हो? मैं आपको हैदराबाद की जनता को भरोसा दिलाना चाहता हूं कि हम हैदराबाद को नवाब निजाम कल्चर से मुक्त होकर एक मिनी इंडिया बने, ऐसा शहर बनाने की दिशा में आगे बढ़ेंगे। जब निकालने के लिए पार्लियामेंट में बहस होती है, कौन इनका पक्ष लेता है? देश की जनता जानती है, सबने लाइव टेलीविजन पर देखा है। और एक बार लिख कर
The Union Home Minister slammed both TRS and AIMIM over dynasty politics.
इतने बड़े तेलंगाना में आपके परिवार के अलावे आपको कोई नहीं मिलता है जी। हम डायनेस्टी से डेमोक्रेसी की ओर देश के लोकतंत्र को ले जाना चाहते हैं। और एक बार लिख कर मुझे दे दे, बांग्लादेशी और रोहिंग्या को निकालना है, बाद में मैं करता हूं। जरा लिख कर देने के लिए बोल दीजिए उनको।
The Home Minister began his poll campaign by offering prayers at the Bhagyalakshmi temple.
Home Minister Amit Shah has arrived here at the Bhagyalakshmi temple at the bottom of the Charminar, greeting the crowd, in fact going across and greeting the crowd right now. That's the Home Minister, in fact going right in front of the cameras there, just going taking a round right now of the entire Charminar area.
यहाँ पे पहले उनका सस्तुवाचन से उनका स्वागत किया गया, फिर माता जी के अष्टोत्तर नाम से उनकी अर्चना कराई गई, फिर श्री सूक्त का पाठ करते हुए उनकी विशेष पूजा मतलब कराई गई। भगवान उनको हमेशा सफल बनाए।
The puja at Bhagyalakshmi temple, located adjoining iconic Charminar, is in focus after BJP's promise to rename Hyderabad as Bhagyanagar.
Today in 2020, the Charminar, and right on the foot of this Charminar, one of the star is the Bhagyalakshmi temple. It also witnessed the Home Minister Amit Shah coming here to start his campaign for the municipal elections in Hyderabad. Why is it that the Home Minister on the last day campaigning in Hyderabad for a municipal election, ladies and gentlemen, had to come to this very Bhagyalakshmi temple?
BJP is aiming high after 2019 general polls and Dubaka by-poll victories. Will pledge to turn Hyderabad into Bhagyanagar, change the saffron party's Bhagya in South India? With Ankit Tyagi and Ashish in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
And AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi also has responded to BJP's call for changing Hyderabad's name to Bhagyanagar. Here's what he said.
बीजेपी बोल रही है कि हैदराबाद को भाग्यनगर बनाएंगे, उनकी वही बात है। और उस पे आपका क्या कहना है? अगर नाम हैदराबाद से भाग्यनगर चेंज हो जाएगा, क्या हो पाएगा?
देखिए मैडम, एक उत्तर प्रदेश का रैंक क्या है, एज अ स्टेट रैंक कितना है, और तेलंगाना स्टेट का रैंक टॉप 5 में 3rd नंबर पे तेलंगाना था, आपका तो 25 नंबर पे आता। आप अपनी स्टेट की फिक्र करिए ना। आप हैदराबाद को आकर कह रहे हैं, आप हमको बता रहे हैं, भाई आपने तो हाथरस में एक दलित परिवार के पीड़ित बच्ची के माँ बाप को तक अंतिम संस्कार में आने की इजाजत नहीं दी। आप तो वहां ठाकुरों की सरकार चला रहे हैं और आप आकर हैदराबाद का नाम तब्दील कर देंगे। इनको भाई बीजेपी, देखिए मैडम, बीजेपी को हम चैलेंज किए हैं इलेक्शन में, हमको एक प्रोजेक्ट बता दीजिए जो आपने पैसा देकर हैदराबाद में फ्लाईओवर, वाटर लाइन, वाटर रिजर्वायर, सीवरेज लाइन, आप बताइए ना। भाई सैलाब आया, 100 साल के बाद इतना बारिश हुआ, आपने कर्नाटका को पैसे दिए, यहां पर नहीं दिया आपने। क्यों नहीं दिया यहां पर? आप यहां पर आकर असदुद्दीन ओवैसी जीना है, पुराना शहर, रोहिंग्या पाकिस्तानी है, 30,000 नाम रोहिंग्याओं के वोटर लिस्ट पर, वोटर लिस्ट मैं बनाता हूं, इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया बनाता है। तो ये सब आप गिलाजत और अनाप शनाप आप बक रहे हैं। हम तो डेवलपमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं कि ये काम होना था, ये काम करना है। ये तमाम चीज आप अपनी नाकामियों को छुपाने के लिए ये कर रहे हैं। ललकारिए जरूर, मगर ललकारने का तरीका ये नहीं है कि आप पुराने शहर की, तेलंगाना की, हैदराबाद की जनता को उनकी तौहीन करेंगे।
Let's shift our focus to some other stories also that we're tracking this morning. Looking to counter China's influence and increasing presence in the Indian Ocean region, India is setting up now coastal surveillance radar systems in the neighborhood as part of its policy to enhance military diplomacy that will also lead to increased security measures in these friendly countries. Here's an exclusive story from Abhishek Bhalla.
From the icy heights of Himalayas to the depths of Indian Ocean, the dragon net is being laid for the dragon. With China increasingly getting active in the Indian Ocean region, India is setting up coastal surveillance radar systems in the neighborhood. These specialized radars for maritime surveillance have already been installed in Sri Lanka, Mauritius, and Seychelles. While sources in the security establishment have told India today that these will be very soon set up in Bangladesh, Maldives, and Myanmar also.
Not only do we have a seamless coastal radar security architecture on India's 7,500 kilometer long coastline, but we have also integrated countries like Mauritius, Seychelles, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh into this architecture, with the intention of making this entire region foolproof and penetration free from any such inimical situations from developing.
The coastal surveillance radar system is capable of detecting small boats, fishing vessels, ships, and monitors any illegal activities in the sea.
So this kind of need was felt to strengthen the coastal security, and this is a very, very big step in that, so that this is a foolproof kind of a coastal security system in which no slip-ups happen ever again.
Under India's program Sagar, or Security and Growth for All in the region, India recently handed over INS Sindhuveer to Myanmar. India is also keeping a watchful eye on steady rise in the deployment of Chinese research and fishing vessels in the Indian Ocean region. Recently, the four-nation Malabar exercise involving India, Australia, the USA and Japan was concluded and hosted in 2 phases by the Indian Navy in the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. Clearly, the message to China is loud and clear. India is upping its game in all strategic domains.
This is part of India's military diplomacy that will also enhance security measures in some of these countries. Till now, these systems have been already installed in at least 3 countries, and in time to come, Myanmar and Bangladesh will also have these systems. In the longer run, at least 12 more countries are in the list where these systems can be put up. Abhishek Bhalla in New Delhi for India Today.
It was deja vu for India as once again Australian batsman, particularly Steve Smith, flayed Indian bowlers to post a mammoth 390-run target. In reply, India could manage just 338 for 9, losing the match by 51 runs, and with it also surrendered the 3-match ODI series.
It seemed like a script from the previous game with same protagonist. A 142-run stand for the first wicket between Warner and Fitch laid a perfect platform for Australia before Steve Smith produced another masterclass. The former Aussie skipper belted the Indian bowlers at will and reached a century of just 62 deliveries to score his second successive ton of the series. Hardik Pandya finally bowled for the first time since September 2019, and it was him who ended Smith's brutality on Indian bowlers. Manas Labuschagne wasn't to be left behind, helping himself to a 70, and Maxwell also joined the party to hit a 29-ball unbeaten 63 in his usual unorthodox style. For the Indians, their stay on the field seemed like an eternity, and finally, when it did get over, they were looking at a target of 390 to stay alive in the series. India lost Dhawan and Agarwal early, but Virat Kohli got his touch back and kept his team in the hunt, even with a mountain to climb. The Indian captain added 93 runs with Shreyas Iyer and then found an able ally in KL Rahul. However, just 11 short of what would have been his first international century in over a year, Virat was caught brilliantly by Moises Henriques. KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya did keep the interest going, but in the end it turned out to be too big a task as India lost the 3-match series in the first 2 games itself. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.